So what we're going to be looking at firstly today is percentage increase and decrease. Now there are two ways of doing this and we're going to go through both methods. So firstly, to increase using a percent, we can find the amount and add it on, or find the amount and take it off. So let's look at that method first. So if we want to increase by 20%, okay, and say we want to increase $100 by 20%, we can find 20% of $100, okay, which would be equal to 0.2 times 100, which would give us $20. Okay, so we've found 20% of 100 and now we're going to add that back on. So we would do 100 plus 20 would equal $120. Now if we wanted to decrease 100 by 20%, we would just need to take this amount off of 100. So we would have $100 take our $20, which would leave us with $80. So we've increased by 20% and we've decreased by 20%. Okay. Another method to use is our multiplier. Okay, so if we want to use a multiplier, this would complete with one step only. So with our multiplier, so if we want to increase by 20%, what we are essentially saying is that we need 100% plus that extra 20%. So to work out what the multiplier is, we are saying we actually want 120%, which equals 1.2 of the original amount. Okay, so using a multiplier we can find out what the increase is in one step only. So increase $100 by 20%, okay, we know that this is going to be the multiplier, so all we need to do is do 100 times by our multiplier, which is 1.2, which would equal $120. Now for the decrease using a multiplier, we are going to take away the 20%. So the multiplier will be 100% minus 20%, which equals 80%, which corresponds to a multiplier of 0.8. Okay, so now to decrease our amount using a multiplier, we're going to decrease $100 by 20%. So all we need to do is our 100 times by our multiplier, which would leave us with $80. And what you can see is these amounts are the same as they were using our two-step method, but only doing it in one step now. So a bit more efficient. So let's have a look at a couple more examples using our multipliers. Okay, so if we increase $100 by 25%, and over here we're going to decrease $100 by 25%. Okay, so our multiplier in these two examples, if we're increasing by 125, it's going to be 100% plus 25%, which equals 125%, which corresponds to a multiplier of 1.25. When we're decreasing by 25%, we're going to have 100, take away 25%, which equals 75%, multiplier of 0.75. Okay, so if we are increasing 100 by 25%, we're just needing to do 100 times by 1.25, which equals $125. And if we're decreasing by 25%, we're just going to do our 100 times by 0.75, which equals $75. Okay, so using the multiplier, much quicker, much more efficient, so let's try and stick with that method. Okay, thanks, and practice away.